What if I told you that stupidity isn't just the absence of intelligence, but something far more insidious, a hidden force that can turn brilliant minds into instruments of destruction? Imagine this: the greatest threat to civilization may not come from evil people doing evil things, but from ordinary individuals who simply stop thinking. Picture a respected scientist spreading dangerous misinformation, or a compassionate teacher endorsing harmful ideologies. These aren't villains. They're intelligent, well-meaning people who have surrendered their independence of thought. Dietrich Bonhoeffer called this the terrifying power of stupidity. And here's the most unsettling part: it's not happening to someone else. It's happening all around us, to people just like you and me. This isn't just abstract philosophy, it's a disturbing reality proven by science. In 1961, psychologist Stanley Milgram conducted his infamous obedience experiments at Yale University. Ordinary volunteers, people with no history of cruelty, were instructed by an authority figure in a lab coat to administer what they believed were increasingly painful electric shocks to another person. Despite hearing desperate screams, cries of pain, and pleas to stop, an astonishing 65% of participants obeyed until the very end, delivering shocks they thought could be lethal. These weren't sadists or mentally unstable individuals. They were everyday people, teachers, office workers, neighbors, who had temporarily surrendered their capacity for independent moral judgment. What makes this so terrifying is that it mirrors exactly what Bonhoeffer observed in Nazi Germany. Educated, intelligent citizens abandoning their conscience under the pressure of authority. When social and institutional power demands obedience, even ordinary people can become instruments of destruction. Dietrich Bonhoeffer wasn't an abstract thinker locked in an ivory tower. He was a German Lutheran pastor who lived through one of history's darkest chapters. Born in 1906 into an intellectual family, his father was a prominent psychiatrist. Bonhoeffer grew up believing in education, rational discourse, and moral responsibility. Yet, as the Nazi Party rose to power, he watched his society collapse into something unrecognizable. Professors, doctors, and clergy, people who should have defended truth, began endorsing lies, propaganda, and hatred. These weren't uneducated peasants manipulated from the outside. They were respected intellectuals who willingly surrendered their independent judgment to fit into a collective madness. From his prison cell in 1943, awaiting execution for resisting Hitler, Bonhoeffer wrote his most haunting line: "Against stupidity, we are defenseless." He realized that while evil is often obvious and eventually destroys itself, stupidity disguises itself as virtue, making it nearly impossible to confront. What made Bonhoeffer's insight so chilling was not only its context, but its precision. He noted that evil always carries the seed of its own destruction. It creates resistance, sparks outrage, and eventually collapses under its own weight. But stupidity is different. Stupidity can look like goodness. It hides behind moral certainty and social conformity, making it almost immune to reason or evidence. Bonhoeffer observed that those in power benefit most from this phenomenon. Malicious leaders don't need to suppress information directly. They simply create conditions where independent thought becomes exhausting or even dangerous. In his prison writings, he explained that when you speak to a truly stupid person, you're not engaging with their mind at all, but with slogans and catchphrases that have possessed them. This was revolutionary. Stupidity wasn't just a matter of low intelligence. It was a systemic, collective condition that could overtake entire societies. When Bonhoeffer used the word stupidity, he wasn't talking about lack of IQ or formal education. He was pointing to something far more complex, what we might call functional stupidity or willful ignorance. In his prison letters, he described how such people are not independent thinkers. Social systems often encourage shortcuts rather than deep thought. News media thrives on outrage, not nuance. Social platforms make billions when users react emotionally Instead, they become vessels for catchphrases, slogans, and simplified ideas that dominate their speech and actions. Modern psychology has confirmed this observation, our economic and critically. Politicians win elections with catchy slogans instead of complex policies. For individuals juggling debt, long hours, and endless stress, intellectual surrender can feel like the only survival strategy. Economists call this rational ignorance, the idea that staying uninformed is sometimes easier and less costly than understanding the truth. But collectively, this creates dangerous waves of irrationality across society. Bonhoeffer understood that resisting stupidity requires daily discipline. Modern psychology calls it intellectual humility, the willingness to admit our knowledge is incomplete and our beliefs may be wrong. This means actively seeking out opposing views, not to torture ourselves, but to test whether our convictions can survive scrutiny. It means pausing before sharing information online, asking, is this true or am I just reacting emotionally? It means practicing the courage to say, I don't know, in a world that rewards confident ignorance. Bonhoeffer also believed resistance must happen at both personal and structural levels. Individually, we need habits that sharpen critical thinking. Collectively, we need systems that reduce stress, foster education, and reward honesty. Without these, people will always be drawn to easy lies instead of hard truths. In the age of AI algorithms and deepfakes, the cost of surrendering independent thought has never been higher. Every click we make is a test. Are we choosing curiosity or conformity? Bonhoeffer paid the ultimate price for refusing to surrender his mind. Executed in 1945, just weeks before Germany's collapse, his final legacy was not only political resistance, it was the defense of human thought itself. He warned that the true danger of stupidity is not ignorance, but the illusion of knowledge. Today, we face the same threat, magnified by algorithms and AI capable of fabricating reality itself. The uncomfortable truth is this: none of us are immune. The moment we think we are safe, we've already begun to succumb. The real question is, will we choose the comfort of conformity or the courage of independence? Your mind is your last line of defense. So here's my challenge. This week, take one belief you hold with absolute certainty and search for the strongest arguments against it. If it survives, you'll know it's worth keeping. If not, you'll have gained wisdom. In a world designed to profit from our intellectual surrender, the simple act of thinking critically is the most radical resistance we have. If this message resonates, share it, comment your reflections, and subscribe, because the future of human dignity depends on people willing to stand fast when everyone else stops thinking.